on in, let me know if you can hear me. I will be there in a minute. Let me know if you can hear me. Come on in. Put a one in the chat if you can hear me. Come on in. Let me know if you can hear me. Put a one in the chat if you can hear my voice. Put a one in the chat. I'm trying to see something before I take my seat. Can you please put a one in the chat for me so I can get straight to my message? I don't know if you all can hear me yet. Let me know. Oh, hey, Robin. I'm coming back to do my video over. I felt like I was all over the place earlier. Thank you so much for letting me know, Robin. I felt like I was all over the place earlier and I needed to take my notes, which I had notes. Um, I just wanted to make sure before I come and give you all five signs, right? I talked about in-laws earlier. Um, I talked about in-laws, but I am specifically going to be talking about mother-in-laws. Hold on. I'm looking at myself too on my other computer. It's a little delayed. Uh, Okay, I had to take notes. I had to take some notes and I had to come back and do this the right way, right? Look, I'm looking at myself here, so because I have my setup here. But listen, I would like to share with you all. And I felt like I was just all over the place in the first video that I did in the car. So I want to come back and I just want to give like some knowledge on how to know that your mother-in-law is a narcissist, right? And how to deal with it. And I did have to print out some information to read to you all to let you know what a narcissist is, right? And then we're going to get to my five reasons to tell, right? Your mother-in-law is a narcissist. Okay. This is the definition I pulled up, right? Basically, simply, it's just a person who are very self-centered. My summary of it, very self-centered and disregard others' feelings, regardless of who they are. They have no empathy for anyone else. But let me read to you the definition, right, of it. A narcissist is a person who shows strong patterns of self centered behavior and excessive need for admiration and a lack of empathy for others. The term comes from narcissistic personality disorder, a clinical mental health condition, but it's also commonly used to describe people who constantly display narcissistic traits, even if they are not formally diagnosed, right? And here are a few typical behaviors of the core traits of a narcissist, right? extreme focus on themselves and their image, constant need for praise, validation, and attention, lack of empathy or concern for other people's feelings, sense of entitlement. Okay, I deserve special treatment type of thing. Manipulative or controlling behavior, difficulty taking responsibility for their actions, responsibility, um, hence the name of my channel. They have very fragile egos hidden behind arrogance. These people are very fragile, and we're going to talk about that. They're very jealous and they're very competitive. Oh, that's all up in my reasons. Okay. They gaslight and they rewrite reality to avoid blame. They don't like to be held accountable, right? So here are five reasons, five signs to tell your mother-in-law is a narcissist, right? One of them is they will give you the silent treatment. That's number one, right? They would come around, but they would be very silent. And that silence is a way of punishing you and to make you feel like you are not worthy of their conversation. You are not worthy of acknowledgement, right? So when they come around, they will use silent treatment to punish you and to teach you how to deal with them. That's what it will do. Okay. They will use that to teach you, right? Let me pull out my clothes. 'Cause my clothes looking all crazy. So that's number one. But it's real, this real life, this live. Okay. I'm not editing this out. Okay. Number two, what they would do is since they have this grandiose, that's one of the signs, but I'm gonna focus on number two. They have this grandiose behavior. They will not talk to you. They will talk through others to talk to you. Okay. Basically, what this looks like is they would use their child to tell you or ask you something, right? This is all while claiming they don't have a problem with you. I feel like if you don't have a problem with a person and you like talking to a person or enjoy a person, you will go directly to them. You won't use someone else to communicate what you need to communicate to them. That's just a coward's way of doing things. And that's their way of telling you that you're not worthy. You're not worthy of a conversation with me. So I'm going to speak through your child or speak through my child to talk to you. Okay. If you have experienced that, it's a possibility that your mother-in-law is a narcissist. Okay. So number three, we mentioned this earlier. They have this grandiose attitude. They're very entitled. They feel like you're supposed to pay homage to them as if they're God. Okay? They want to erect and they want you to make them an idol. And if you don't make them an idol, they're going to punish you. They're going to treat you bad with the silent treatment. They are going to not speak to you. They're not going to talk to you. They're going to emotionally bully you, emotionally taunt you, right? If you all understand, if you all have experienced this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, right? They feel like they automatically supposed to gain respect because of who they are in your life, who they are to you in your life. They don't want to earn the respect. They want it to be automatic. They didn't do anything to earn that, right? They don't deserve the respect because they haven't they don't deserve homage. You don't supposed to pay homage to anyone, but some people you do overly love and overly joy and like being around, but they didn't earn that. They have this entitlement as if you're supposed to bow automatically, right? They want you to just bow down as if they're God. They have that type of arrogance. Number three, they secretly hate you and are jealous of you. When you're dealing with the narcissistic mother-in-law, they hate you. They're jealous of the success that you bring to their child's life. They're jealous of the ambition you have. They're jealous because you have require something from their child that they don't get, right? You require that their child treat you a certain way or respect you in a certain way. And if they don't get it, right, they become very jealous. It's almost like you're competing. If you dealt with the mother-in-law like this, it's almost like you're competing for your spouse's attention. Like you're always in this competition where you're competing for the affection of your spouse with his mom. It's like a it's like a weird type of competition. It's like a weird type of energy that you don't understand if you don't know that you're dealing with a narcissistic person. You don't know this because you never experienced it and you don't know how to manage it. You don't know how to put the language to it. Right? When you don't know how to put the language to something, either you would dismiss it or you would put your own language to it. If you don't know, you just don't know. Yeah, they're always put you in a competition. They hate you. They're jealous of you. They're jealous because you're ambitious because you've accomplished things they did not accomplish at their age. You are a better mother. You are a good wife. Like your traits and your attributes bring out the hate in them because they don't have the heart that you have. When you are this good person and your heart is pure and everything you do is genuine, there's no strings attached, they're going to hate you for that. And they're going to go and try to erase who you are. They're going to go and try to erase who you've been in their child's life and in the life of your own children, right? They're going to try to destroy your reputation, right? They're very secret they are they secretly hate you and are jealous. Number 6 is they will lie on you, right? When they see that other thing, like when they see that nothing else works to try to destroy who you are as a human, they will lie on you. They will tell lies on you. I remember when I was dealing with the person, I'm gonna call her name, but hence the title of this video. This person said I pushed them. Like this person literally said I pushed them out of the way, and I didn't put my hands on that woman. Um, if anything, I blocked her from trying to get in the picture because what it is, they try to create a facade as to because they don't like you, but they like to pretend. Remember, one of the traits of a narcissist is they like an image. She want to try to create this image that wasn't really there, and I wasn't going to allow her to do that. You're not going to try to take a picture like we're one big happy family when you hate my guts. Okay, we're not doing that. Okay, so I just told her to hold up. I put my hand out. I told her to hold up and wait so you could take a picture with my son when I'm done. But she said that I pushed her. And then, too, she took that narrative and pushed it out there where other people believed it too. But I know the truth. Okay. I know the truth and I stand on that. Because, they'll try to make you like, I wouldn't hurt a flea. I'm not a person who likes conflict. Okay. Now, I'll handle it if I have to, but I'm not out there looking for trouble. And at that time, I was so afraid to rock the boat I wouldn't even think about doing anything like that at that time when she said I did it. Now, any other time, that was different. After the fact, certain situations not happening, it could have been a possibility. But at that time, absolutely not. So they would lie on you to try to taint your image and make you look like they'll try to make you look like the villain, right? Because you just seem too perfect. You seem too good to be true. So they'll try to mess up your image with lies and deceits. Okay. So that is 5 ways to kind of tell that your mother-in-law is a narcissist, right? Number 1, they give you the silent treatment. I don't know who's there because I have my phone turned a different way. They will give you the silent treatment. Number 2, they will talk through others and not really talk through you, all while claiming they have no issue with you, right? When you don't have an issue with the person, you will talk to them. You would acknowledge them. You would make them feel included. But no, they would talk through others. If they need to ask you a question, they'll tell, oh, say John. John, ask, Karen, could such and such and such and such, okay? Could we do X, Y, and Z? They won't talk directly to you. That's just the coward's way of communicating. because you can see straight through them. Number 3, they have this grandiose attitude as if you're supposed to pay homage to them, as if they're God, because of the title that they carry in your life, without doing anything to earn that respect. Okay. They want you to pay homage and respect to them. And then they want to use religion to justify their arrogance. Okay. To justify their entitlement. But when you don't submit to that, when you don't allow it, then you become the villain. You become the villain. Well, I think I gave you all 6. Number 5 is they secretly hate you and are jealous of you. They secretly hate you and they're jealous of you because they didn't do what they should have done with the time they had. So you coming in and you want to change the the trajectory of their child's life. You want to try to create something new and try to break curses and do something different. They're going to hate you for that. They're going to be jealous of you, right? So, and number 6, which is the bonus, I said bonus, I said 5. They will tell lies on you. Yep. They will lie on you. They will make other people believe that you're this awful person, and you wonder why people and their family, and then you wonder why your in-laws, they come around and you can feel that negative energy. That's because they've told lies on you, and the people who are treating you different, they believe those lies. They are just as weak and, can't think for themselves as other people. As the person told the lie, they're just as weak as them, you know? So, um, yeah, they will tell lies on you. Create this whole narrative that you're just this villain, all because you're ambitious or all because they can't play with you. You can see straight through them, right? And I have more that I'm going to come back and do a part 2, but I didn't want the video to be long. I tried to do a video earlier in my car, and that just went off on a tangent. Go back and watch it once it's uploaded. Oh, I talked about everything in that video. That should have been broken down in so many different videos, but it tends to happen. But those are 5 signs that your mother-in-law is a narcissist, right? And I know it's very difficult dealing with these people. Um, you don't A lot of people don't understand what they're dealing with until it's too late, just like I did. I didn't understand what I was dealing with until years later. And by the time I found out, there was a lot of damage. A lot of damage was done because of my own fear, my own lack of speaking up for myself, my own insecurities, and me not being where I needed to be at that time. I let so many things pass by without speaking up. So now that I'm not in that situation anymore, I have the freedom and I have the wisdom now to speak up to help others challenge these different entities. Because that's what it is. It's an entity you're dealing with. And you have to be spiritually connected to fight this. You can't fight this in the flesh because that spirit will wear you out. They like to be petty. They like to they thrive in that. They thrive in that pettiness. They thrive in that ego. And if you're not spiritually equipped, that spirit will wear you out. You will get worn out. You will be running back with your tail tucked between your look with your tail tucked between your legs. You'll be running. You'll be running back. Okay, hiding somewhere, scared to come out. So I just wanted to come share that with you all. And I don't have my little clicker. I don't have my little clicker to cut off the video, but I wanted to share that with you all. And I wanted to make sure I give you 5 signs. And I will go into more detail about this because it's narcissism and families too. If you go online and just Google that word narcissistic, or narcissism, or narcissistic families, you will realize more people are dealing with this than often, right? There's so many people dealing with this. Like, there's a lot of people dealing with this and don't know how to put language to it, don't know how to deal with it. They don't know what to do, because they're so enmeshed and it's so embedded and ingrained in their fabric. That's why some people are going no contact with their families, you know. because they would make you, when you dealing with these type of families, they would make you seem like you're the one crazy. And you look at everybody else with their addictions, you look at everybody else with their mental health illness, you look at everybody else with their, sicknesses, and you looking at, y'all don't see all of this, but y'all want to say I'm the problem. When I look at all this stuff they got going on, they want to blame you because you're the one that's bold enough to speak up against it. You're the one bold enough to challenge that norm, right? You're bold enough to challenge it. Even when you have in-laws and they're so toxic, you're talking to your spouse, letting them know, oh, this person don't like you. That person jealous of you. And you're not saying it to divide the family. You're saying it so they can pay attention, right? You're saying that so they can pay attention because unfortunately, you have family members that are jealous. You have family members that don't want you to do better than them or don't want you to have a successful relationship, don't want your children to be successful. They don't want that for you. They can't wait till the day your children fail. They can't wait till the day your children become an addict like the rest of the family members. They can't wait for the day that you know, they have something that they can talk about that they can put in the family group chat. Okay. They can't wait for that day. But you are challenging that. You are standing up against that. You are speaking up against that. You're breaking that. You're breaking that curse off that family. Okay. You're breaking that curse off that family. And that's why when you marry into a family that's dysfunctional, that's why that in-law would not, that mother-in-law, she will never accept you because you can see her. Everybody else see the surface her. You see her spirit. You see her spirit is broken. You see her spirit that she dealing with, mental health issues. You see all of that in her, but that child, because that's mom, the little angel, the little halo, this my little halo, because that's mom, he sees her as an angel and you see her as the opposite of angelic, okay? Because when you're enmeshed in that foolishness, you can't see. We don't want to think our parents are evil. We don't want to think that our mother or our father or our child is evil. We don't want to think that, but some of us have evil parents. They don't want their children to be successful. They can't cheer for their child because if your child bought a house and you never had a home, you're not going to be happy. You're jealous, right? I would never be jealous of my children. I want my kids to go further and faster than I did. It was my it was my goal in life as a mom to make sure I set my kids up with the footing I didn't have. I sacrifice, which a mother's supposed to do. They don't owe me anything. And that's another thing. A narcissistic mother and a narcissistic mother-in-law, they want their children to pay for things they're supposed to do as a parent. My kids don't owe me nothing. I tell my kids this all the time. You don't owe me anything from what I was supposed to do as a mother, right? But it was my goal to make sure my kids had a leg up, to make sure that I gave them everything I could where they were able to be successful. And I put that responsibility back on them. If you don't win with what I give you, that's on you. You're not going to blame me. Okay? You're not going to blame me because you got everything. You had everything to win in life. Okay? Where's my book? I played how to play the cards you've been dealt. I played the cards I've been dealt in life. Okay, this is my proof. But I played the cards I've been dealt in life. Okay, so I gave them the cards they needed to play with. I gave them good cards. I can stand on that. I gave my kids good cards to play with, and this is what a narcissistic mother-in-law do. She will try to take the essence of who you are as a mom, which she wasn't equipped for this, right? Because this got to be in you. This ain't something you can steal from someone. She will try to take your essence from you and try to use it as if it's hers, right? She would try to take on your good traits as if it's hers. Okay. And I'm gonna come back and do a part two, especially when it comes to the children, grandchildren, how they would, and I don't want to talk about this because I'll go on and on. how they would always select a golden child. They like that adoration. They like to put people on a pedestal. They like to take a golden child from amongst the grandkids, put them on a pedestal, only to bring them down, only to bring them back down. But anyways, I digress. um, I gave my kids good cards, and I don't have to prove that. I could die today knowing I gave y'all what I had with what I was given. Y'all had more to play with than what I was given. I barely had cards to play with. Okay. Barely had cards. They had all kind of cards. I barely had cards. But I use what I had. And that's what this book is about. I didn't have no mom guiding me. I didn't have a dad guiding me along the way. I had to learn. Life had to teach me. Life taught me. And me seeking help from other people and mentors, but life taught me. I learned through the struggle. So this is why I tell my children, especially my son, my oldest son, this is why I told him, you're not going to be able to blame me for anything. And he was trying to. He was trying to put that stuff off on me when he was going through his stuff. No, you're not gonna put that off on me. Now, if you want to have a conversation, you can have a conversation. But to blame, you're not going to shift that. That's why you have conversations. Okay. You have conversations to get an understanding because how you looking at me may not be the right perspective. And what I'm thinking about you may not be the right perspective. That's why you have conversations. You don't have people in your ear telling you this, have people in your ear telling you that. No, you have a conversation with the person. Don't listen to what somebody else telling you about someone. You have that conversation for yourself to get an understanding, right? So we have to learn to play with the cards we've been dealt. And I didn't have no good hand. Okay. I didn't have a good hand, but I played with what I had. And I thank God for that. Okay. I'm not ashamed of that. I know I dealt my kids, they were dealt better cards than me. They were dealt better cards. And no, it wasn't perfect. And they have their own things they deal with, but they had some good cards. And I could stand on that. They had some good cards. They didn't have to watch their mom in the streets acting a fool. I was always presentable. We always had fun and we did things. We always went out. It was always me and my kids because their dad was always working. But we had, they had good cards. They didn't have no trauma upbringing that I know of. Now, me allowing them to go to other people's houses and they keeping secrets about what happened there, that's different. I don't know about that because sometimes we send these kids to people we think we can trust when the monster is not in the water. The monster is not the stranger. The monsters be in your family. That's another thing. The monsters be in your family. The abusers be in the family. Them aunties, them uncles, them cousins, them brothers, they're in the family. So other than that, I don't know about anything, other than, you know, so and that's why I told my kids, y'all have to be honest with me because we try to protect you because I try to protect my kids as much as I could. That's why they never did sleepovers. They never did sleepovers. And when I did used to let them go to my sister house, that was the only person I let them go to. And I even stopped that after a while. After a while, I cut that out for my own personal reasons. You don't do sleepovers. They hated it then, but they get older, they appreciate it now. You can't go sleep over a friend's house. No, because I don't know what uncle they got over there, what cousin, what brother. No. But anyways, I don't want to get off the topic, but that's 5 ways to tell you're dealing with a narcissistic mother-in-law. So you all be blessed and have a great day.